If you want to be able to buy the most expensive players and open the best packs in FC24, go to u7buy.com to buy your EA FC24 coins. It's cheaper than buying FC points and just as reliable. With their already amazing prices, you can get an extra 6% using promo code Inception at checkout. Okay guys, so we just finished doing the review for the Rudiger. Today we have a new evolution. I think they brought back the Showdown Plus, if I'm not mistaken. I think they brought it back. We're not going to take a look at absolutely every choice because a lot of these guys are going to be outdated for the meta of the game, right? But some of them are going to look pretty decent, right? Because there's obviously going to be a lot of selections for this specific evolution. So we are going to be taking a look at some of the main ones, right? So this one apparently gives first touch plus. Yes, it does. The reason why I'm saying this is because I noticed that for some of the Showdown players, they actually get a fourth playstyle because some of them only have 3 and they've already had the first touch plus, so they don't need like the extra, right? Now, if we are going to be talking about the meta of this game, right, we have to take a look at the boost that the card receives in certain areas. So what are those boosts that the card receives, right? He gets a shooting, a passing, a dribbling, and a physical nerf, okay? Now, the reason why Joelinton is trending the most, and this is going to be hilarious for you guys to hear because a lot of you guys on YouTube, I feel like you guys look at the game a little bit more in the casual base, so you're like, oh, physical type attacker, which you would be correct in saying, right? Because a card like this, people will use in like the 4-3-2-1, left forward, right forward position, whip in a whipped pass plus, and then bang, you can score a header. But you know where people are actually using this card because of the specific things that he has? They are actually using him as a right back, right? And it makes sense as to why people are using him as a right back because in the fullback position, right? If you don't have specific play styles, it's not that big of a deal defensive wise, right? Because what you utilize more than anything in the fullback position is physical presence to get the ball back. Now, the reason why people are using him in the right back position is because, look, he lacks in slide tackle, but people don't really use slide tackle that much unless you have slide tackle plus. But look at his other defensive stats for a person that would be playing in the right back position. But the key thing here, meta-wise, is the fact that he's working with an aerial plus. So in his case, giving him a physical boost, even if it's a small one, will make a nice difference on the card, right? Because if you take a look at this one, you can see that his base card stats in certain areas, it's smaller in some regards, specific spots, right? But it's mainly in the base card stats for like shooting, for dribbling and stuff that will make a nice difference for how this card will perform in game, right? So that's why he's trending the highest. He's trending the highest because meta-wise, people still use this card nowadays because they try to avoid that far post cross meta because he has the aerial plus with a 99 for jumping, right? It's a very annoying meta to deal with that EA refuses to change anything about, but that's what it is, right? So that's why he's the top trending one. Would not mind that choice for how this game generally performs, right? Paredes, we never did his review for this card. Honestly, Showdown reviews kind of like threw me off a little bit in regards to like enjoyment factor, right? Because they're pretty lackluster for a lot of them unless they get like the actual improvements. Even EA knows that they need the extra improvement to be like really nice cards, right? But yeah, this card, you are adding the first touch plus. I will say that if EA provided this card with the special sauce that obviously they need to provide with most of their players, this card looks really good, right? Why does he look good? Because this card is a high work rate player with a 5-star weak foot, very good dribbling stats. He has intercept plus, he's got technical, he's got first touch being added to the card, right? And if we take a look at his base play styles, right, he has a lot of really nice stuff too, right? Bruiser, anticipate, tiki-taka, incisive pass, a trivela to work with, right? A lot of cool stuff. Because technically speaking, you can use him in any of the midfield positions. I would say you could totally use him as one of 2 CDMs, one of the 2 center mids in a 4-4-2, 4-3-3, and he could perform really well in game, right? There's a lot of potential with this guy. I, again, have not used him myself, so it's hard to say exactly what he's like in game, but he is well formatted for the boost, right? Because you could see that it gives him the shooting, the passing, the dribbling, and the physical, and you can see that he's not even at the 99 yet, so those boosts on a card like this would be more significant, especially if you do use him a specific way, right? Thomas Muller is another card that gets one. The boost that he gets is definitely nice because I feel like base card stats wise, he needs the improvements because this is always a card that, you know, you provide the engine chemistry style to, right? So base card stats being improved in the shooting, in the passing, dribbling, maybe not as much, but base card stats for certain things would definitely be nice because, you know, you still give them the engine chemistry style. The boosts are nice, right? Like even the physical boost going a little bit higher is nice too. As a physical type attacker, like this card's actually pretty decent to this game, right? Like it's actually not bad whatsoever. But yeah, the only problem with selecting a card like this is that as a Showdown Plus, you would be giving him an extra first touch plus, right? So maybe at some point in the future, if EA, you know, drops some sort of evolution that gives them a dribbling playstyle, whether that's a Trickster Plus or a Press Proven Plus, I think that would be more beneficial, right? I think for a Hoselu, it'd be the same situation as well. Depending on if you think that they'll drop another Showdown Winners evolution, but we don't know, right? We don't know what EA is going to do with that. So it's always ideal to kind of wait, I would say, until the last seconds to see what they release, because apparently this evolution is something that you can unlock within 20 days and then expires in 27 days. So I would wait and see what they drop, because this definitely looks like, I'm going to be honest with you, this evolution, it looks like one that you give to an attacker or a midfielder that could potentially push forward, right? Ilyara Mendy looks like a decent card as well, because don't get me wrong, listen, man, there's some formations where having two medium high work rated players is really ideal, but for a card like this that could potentially push forward, it's a cool thing to work with because he has the shooting capabilities. You know, you give him the shadow chemistry style, the card could potentially push forward, come back really nicely. And then obviously there's also the fact that you can make this card a controlled lengthy player with mid 90s for pace, good defense, physical being increased, a lot of good stuff to work with. A card like this required an extra boost to be like a really, really nice card, especially in those very key areas, because the small physical boosts, they make a difference for a card like this, even if you give him an anchor chemistry style. The passing is in a good area. All four of the playstyle pluses for him are decent, right? First touch plus, maybe more relevance for some other cards in comparison to him, but you know, even in certain situations, once you take that first touch, you can kind of transition out of that first touch quickly to make a pass or whatever. And in certain situations, especially in this game, when people are utilizing the pressure tactics quite a bit, it is helpful to work with as well, right? So you can't really go wrong with that selection. Francisco Conceição is definitely the one that I would have gone with if I consistently played, right? This card has a bunch of really cool stuff to work with, and the improvements make him significantly better. Now, I've never tried out this card myself. He does look really well formatted. Because he has Trickster Plus, I may not look into dribbling as much, to be honest. I think that on a marksman, he actually looks pretty cool, right? Dribbling boost, shooting boost, and a physical boost. You really can't go wrong with that. But if I tried out the card and I knew what he was like in game, and I saw that his left stick was perfectly fine without the specific boost in the dribbling department, then I would just go down the route of giving him a Hawk chemistry style because of a better physical boost, as well as a shooting boost, and then you get the extra pace, because at this point in the game, having very high pace is incredibly relevant, right? But yeah, he has a bunch of very good play styles. He's a smaller player, right, at 5'6", so you might notice the stuff like first touch plus a little bit more because it's working hand in hand with Trickster Plus that allows you to strafe dribble quickly while also working with a technical, while also working with a finesse shot to kind of get into those positions, right? So a lot of interesting stuff, right? A nice little FC Porto card for those of you that, you know, want to improve a card like that. Rabiot is another one too, right? So another Showdown Plus upgrade for this card. It is a card that is, you know, formatted for the shadow chemistry style, right, to boost the pace and to boost the defending as high as possible. Could you technically go on the route of giving him an engine chemistry style? You could, but I think giving him a lengthy to work with perfect pace is always going to be a more ideal situation. With a card like this, again, very similar to what I said before. If it's a card that could potentially push forward and come back, or just be that neutral sort of center mid that helps you on the build-up play, for instance, if you play a 4-3-2-1, and your center mid is on stay back while attacking cover center, then a card like this could be helpful in that area because he has a bunch of passing play styles to work with a first touch, anticipate to be able to defend from time to time. He doesn't have a regular intercept, but he still has a lot of other stuff that would make him a pretty interesting card. And to be honest, right, because he has the different position changes like left mid, CDM, and center mid, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I could totally see people using this card in the fullback position as well, right? Because he is a lengthy player with perfect pace, very good defense, and he has 99 jumping. Now, play styles wise, if you take a look at it, he also has a regular aerial, right? Which can be still a very helpful thing to kind of counteract the meta of this game. So it's weird that you don't play these players sometimes in the positions that you think, right? But it's just the way that the game plays out that makes you put them in certain positions, right? Jordan Henderson was the recent one that recently came out. Some good improvements for him as well. I think that on a shadow chemistry style, he's also really well formatted because, you know, again, has very good play styles for the most part. He doesn't have an intercept, but it's a card that, again, on that stay back cover center role, or, right, you play a 4-2-3-1, he's one of your 2 CDMs that could potentially push forward. He's not that poorly formatted either, right? Because this card has a regular press proven to kind of compensate for the lower agility and balance as a midfielder, but he still has shooting, he still has passing, dribbling, defending, and physicality. So for people that are building some sort of sentimental squad, you could go down that route as well. Onana, another very good example of a player that looks like could be pretty solid in the meta of the game, depending on how you line up your team, because of the intercept plus already being a thing on the card. And first touch is kind of helpful because he is a taller player. Now with Onana in game, he does also have a press proven, right? So you're working with a taller player that has solid defensive capabilities, but you can give him a lengthy on a shadow working with perfect pace, intercept plus with good defensive stats. EA could potentially add some special sauce to this card, right? The only thing that's off for how I would personally want to use him on a consistent basis is I wish he was a medium high instead of a high high. When you're a high high, I want you to be a little bit better on the attack, right? With like a nice little box to box. But a lot of times people just usually put these guys on stay back while attacking anyways. They don't position themselves as well as like a medium high work rate player, but he would still do a pretty decent job as well, right? Let's see who else we have here from like the really good choices. João Gomes came out. That's an attacking center mid too. I don't think he has certain play styles, right? Yeah, I remember seeing this card initially. I've never seen this card used once in my life, to be honest with you. Okay, moving on. Irene Paredes, like some of these guys, like, see, this is where I personally wouldn't go down this route. Like Akanji and stuff, no. Yeah, Mukiele, probably not. Henderson could be good. Yeah, he could be decent. I never tried him out during that time period when he was like initially released. Yeah, pace boost, defensive boost, 5-star skills on him. Yeah, he could be pretty decent. He could be. First touch plus, excuse me, being added to the card, or already had it. A little bit of waste there then. What does Easy SBC say? Excuse me. Yeah, Paredes looks good. Hostelu, yeah, that makes sense. So like controlled player, anchor chemistry style. Yeah, as a fullback, he looks decent. The boosts are not like as relevant for him though, but it's still a decent card if you were building some sort of like Roma team for sure. That makes sense. Hernandez. Muller, McAllister. Oh, McAllister gets one too. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, McAllister wouldn't be a horrible one, man. Oh, look at this. You can put him into Showdown Winners Boost and then U9 afterwards. You know what? This wouldn't be a horrible selection, I'm gonna be honest with you. Because I actually like the way McAllister plays in this game. He's actually not bad at all. As the attacking center mid, easy SBCs right with that. Yeah, specifically as the attacking center mid, that's not bad, eh? Liverpool fans should definitely look into that one for sure. This guy's a former FC Porto player too, Quintero. Bro, you guys know how Porto be with the Colombians. That's why I'm Team Colombia in the final, man. So many Porto players were from Colombia. Sebastian Haller. Oh, that's not bad either, actually. Physical type attacker, right? For those of you that like to use the physical type attackers, you can use something like this, right? Engine chemistry style for him too, right? Not too bad. Ben Rama, no one really used that during that time period. These are like the super old cards that some people might do, but I don't know. There's like so many new cards for those guys, it's kind of pointless. Fullback, well, wouldn't be but too bad. Wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I think that some of the top choices on the first page, they definitely make the most sense. I think easy SPCs definitely they're pretty on the money with this. I think most of the cards that they have in this selection make a lot of sense. Like, I would probably put some of their ratings a little bit lower, or they have the S rating. Okay, yeah. So the choices for some of these guys make sense. Like Onana with the intercept plus, more physical, can't go wrong with that because you give him the shadow, right? Paredes and stuff. Hoslu is definitely going to be a big choice too. So yeah, definitely pretty self-explanatory with the meta selections. Hoslu as a right back is hilarious to me, but that's how it works in this game, man. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video today. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys. Enjoy your weekend, guys.